have a good time. Wrong fucking movie. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my random horror review series. I am your host, Mood616, and thank you once again for stopping in, guys. Yes, episode 74 is here, and I've got one here from Videonomicon, and this is one that I was hella surprised it actually got like an official release, because it's one that I've heard about for years and years, and I always thought it was kind of a myth that it even existed, because I'd never heard of anyone actually ever seeing this film. So when I heard that they were actually putting this out, I had to jump all over it. I just couldn't believe it. Very, very cool. I thought it was a lost film forever. But yeah, the film in case here, or in question, is from 1983, and it's called Mad Mutilator, or Ogroff. This is a French slasher film, of course from France. This one right here is got a very interesting kind of history to it. This was basically directed by a guy that owned a movie store back in the day, and he was just a really, really big fan. And he thought to himself one day, he's like, you know what? I want to do my own type of film so I can, make a movie, rent it out in my movie store, and just kind of go from there and stuff. And that's exactly what he did. This film right here is shot on Super 8. So, the quality is going to be, it's better than shot on video, but it's Super 8 quality. They actually put the sounds right on the original master tape, and the original master tape eventually got lost or whatever, so they had to take this and do the transfer from the original beta tape transfer. So you can hear all the audio drops and stuff in this, but it doesn't really matter, because a lot of these Super 8 films were always shot without sound, so basically the most of the sound that you hear in this film is going to be just the soundtrack. It'll drop out for the few lines of dialogue that's actually in this one, which is only about 20, so if you're not a fan of foreign films and you're not a fan of reading subtitles, don't worry, there's only 20 lines of dialogue in this film. But get into the premise of the synopsis of the film. There really isn't one. It's basically just about your killer, your slasher here, Ogroff. He is just kind of slashing and dicing his way. He lives in the hills, and anybody that comes across his path, he just kind of takes out. And yeah, that's pretty much the entire storyline to the film. Like I said, it's just random people doing random things, getting killed randomly and stuff. So my thoughts on Mad Mutilator. Now, this movie, of course, like I said, shot on Super 8. Definitely looks like it and stuff. I seriously can't believe how much fucking charm this movie has, man. It really does blow my mind. I've seen a lot of shot-on-video films, a lot of Super 8 films, a lot of low-budget underground films like Mad Mutilator in the past. I can't really remember one that had so many attempts at doing special effects. This one right here runs about 90 minutes, and pretty much the entire film is just non-stop kills, non-stop, gore gags and things like that. I mean, the effects are a little bit cheesy and a little bit tacky at times, but you have to give the filmmaker a lot of credit for actually attempting this. It's really mind-blowing how much time and effort was put into this film. It has so much charm. It is so much fun. I mean, it's probably, to the average film goer, this is probably one of the worst movies you could ever possibly see, but for someone like me, I kind of take it for what it's worth, and it's just so much fucking fun. It's ridiculous. Now, this movie right here is basically a huge homage to horror films. You can tell the director was a massive fan. I mean, not only did he own a movie store, he obviously was a huge fan, because this one right here essentially is Texas Chainsaw Massacre kind of meets Friday the 13th Part 2. Ogroff, he lives in a cabin out in the woods and stuff. And there's all these type of scenes that are very reminiscent of Part 2. The whole thing, him wielding a mask and a chainsaw and stuff is Texas Chainsaw. There's shout-outs to, The Burning in here. There's camera work from The Evil Dead. There's basically all the Italian zombie films at the time that were popular, like Zombie, Burial Ground, and so on, are in here. There's even a scene where a zombie is resurrecting out of the ground and stuff, totally from Zombie, things like that. Coming the second act of this film is when the whole movie takes the most bizarre turn ever. I mean, if it wasn't bizarre enough that Ogroff is even fighting another serial killer in this film, and he's trying to obtain a girlfriend who he's trying to have relations with and stuff like that, well, at one point in the film, his girlfriend actually unleashes this horde of zombies that is in the basement of his house, and now it's Night of the Living Dead in the second half of the film. It's so freaking bizarre. It even has vampires in this film too. Actually, one played by Howard Vernon. If you're not familiar who Howard Vernon is, he was basically a guy that was in a shitload of Jess Franco films. Kind of makes sense that he was in this film. I reviewed a film called Last Rites of Frankenstein. One time he was in that film. He was in a lot of Franco films, put it that way. So he kind of shows up in the end of this film too, which is really bizarre. But this movie right here, you know, it just has a little bit of everything for you. Non-stop. There's really no downtime in this film whatsoever, because there's really not a lot of story either. It's just non-stop scenes. And, you know, I will say, you know, even though the gore is a little bit cheesy, a little bit tacky and stuff, you know, if the gore actually was really well done, this is kind of a mean-spirited, and it would be a really hardcore type film, because there's a lot of kills, a lot of body parts, a lot of severed, you know, heads, you know, things like that. But there's this one kill in this film where this girl gets crucified. Now, if that was done really, really well, it would have been mean-spirited as hell. It's such a fun watch. It has the cheesiest music too. The soundtrack's really, really cheesy. Like I said, you can hear all the audio drops because they put the audio right on the 8mm transfers. So every time you do that, if you put it right onto the film, you can actually hear where the edits are. So it's a lot of thumping, a lot of popping and stuff. You actually don't really notice it after a while. But, you know, as a whole product, you know, it's a terrible, terrible film, but so much damn fun. If you're a fan of these films and you like to drink beer and you like to hang out with your friends and stuff, this is a great film to put on because there's no storyline, there's no dialogue, there's nothing you really have to pay attention to, except for look over the screen every once in a while and go, damn, that was fucking hilarious, and laugh with your buddies. Super, super fun. And that's why I recommend this film. I recommend this film to the people that can take it for what it's worth. If you're not into these low-budget, terrible films, 8mm shot on video type films, then stay very, very clear of this one. But I highly recommend this film. It was very, very enjoyable for myself. I had a lot of fun with this. I kind of watched it late at night. I wish I had seen this for the first time, you know, with some buddies drinking some beer. Would have made it even funner for myself. But this one, it was just a blast. You know, the story behind it's really interesting. It's crazy that he got, you know, Howard Vernon to do this film. It really does kind of crack me up that he has this little part, but which is so freaking bizarre in itself. Like, it's just everything about this one. I honest to God was pissing myself laughing at the blatant burning scene in this film. It was so funny the way it was. And then this blatant Evil Dead camera where he's like literally just running through the forest, like with the camera and stuff. It's pretty funny. But a lot of mean-spirited stuff with a lot of comedy and things like that. But, you know, it even has shout-outs to cannibal films. Like, he's even, you know, of course, with Texas Chainsaw the Cannibal, but there's this, like, blatant cannibal scenes and shit. So it has a little bit of everything. You know, if you're into slashers, zombies, vampires, cannibal films. Here it is in the Mad Mutilator, man. Yeah, really, really fun stuff. I highly recommend this edition from Videonomicon. It's awesome. Really enjoyed it. You can read up on the whole film. It's got a nice booklet in here, which it's got a really good write-up from, I believe the guy from, who did this one? From Bleeding Skull, Joseph Zimba from Bleeding Skull wrote up this whole thing, and they got permission to use it in the booklet. So that's pretty damn cool. But yeah, comes with two versions. The remaster you can see on the screen, the remaster of the colored remaster and the original tape transfer. I watched the remastered one. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Mad Mutilator. Super, super fun. That's why I recommend it. Super bad film. If I had to rate this one, I'm going to give it like a 5 out of 10. You know, I mean, it's probably, most people give it like a 3 or something, but it has the most living charm I've ever seen in a film. Like, so much attempts at special effects and stuff. I mean, you can kind of see it in the back, the axe right in the head, if you guys can see that right there. Just so many funny moments in this. Really, really fun time. Mad Mutilator, check it out. And that is going to do it here, guys, for episode 74. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to be back with some more random, you know, underground, independent film reviews and stuff in the future. So be on the lookout for those. And as usual, peace!